Well, the time has come for even more episodes of Pokemon Horizons, as the final portion of Season 1 has made it to Netflix in the US. So why not take a look at the episodes available so far and check in to see how the series has been going. This is usually how I go about things, so let me know if you'd like to see me continue covering Pokemon Horizons in this way, or if you'd even like to see me get further ahead. I'll be trying something a little different by being real brief with each episode, and I'll rank them all at the end. Anyway, let's dive in following the last video as Liko, Roy, and Dot continue their adventures. Episode 37, The Wild Pair, Freed and Cap. This episode, oh boy, I'm actually a big fan of it. Not necessarily an extremely exciting or important episode, but one that puts our heroes in a funny little adventure in the Wild West on a mission to find a missing Bramblin. The episode serves as a way to show some of the differences between Freed and Captain Pikachu as they get in a little argument throughout, but I like the whole concept, especially with the villains of the day being this group of poachers. They bring a Team Rocket-ish energy that's fun to watch. There's some solid details that get established, but I think mostly this one works best as a more comedic or episodic adventure. Overall, a nice way to start things off for the next chunk of episodes. Episode 36, Mission Find Oinkolone's Partner. Dot reaches out to one of her fans in Pigton Town who wants to participate in a multi-battle tournament, but is having problems with her Pokemon. Here we find out that the young girl named Yuno owns a female Oinkolone and has a rivalry with a boy named Renta and his male Oinkolone. It's a cute episode and is yet another one that works best on its own and is mostly meant to show off some of the new Pokemon for the current generation. Definitely an average episode, but it keeps up the usual Pokemon charm. Episode 37, Fuecoco becomes a crook? While the Rising Voltacklers are on a job to take care of some Krokorok that are messing with a dig site, Roy and Fuecoco discover the construction is disturbing the group of newly hatched Sandile babies. They're able to connect with them through a song, which is cute, and by the end of it, Fuecoco learns a new move, that being Disarming Voice. The wild Pokemon and construction crew are able to reach a mutual understanding to work together. I like this one because it helps to build Roy a little better as he and Fuecoco are able to approach the situation differently. Though I'd say this is a good one, though it begins a series of character development episodes and isn't the strongest one comparatively, but it is a good start. Episode 38, The SOS is a Tandemaus? We did it, guys. We finally made it to the Lost Mousehold episode.
We're gonna get some filler.
I said any kind of crazy filler. We might.
What do you define as crazy filler?
Okay, we might still get like the one-off holiday special or like the recap episode or something like that.
The Lost Mousehold episode.
Yeah, that's a for sure. That's a guaranteed gonna happen.
Anyway, this adventure focuses on Liko and her Hatenna, who work together in order to save some injured Mousehold babies trapped in a cave. It's great to get Hatenna out of its little shell after it was inspired by Molly's Chansey to help and heal other Pokemon, so it putting on a brave face and learning heal posts along the way made a good episode. I do like little scenarios like this with Hatenna being a psychic Pokemon and having a feeling that there is even more deeper in the cave and eventually gathering the courage to join Liko and going further. Episode 39, Tinkatink's Ideal Hammer. While in town buying some new live streaming equipment, Dot meets a Tinkatink that she gives some old material to build a new hammer. Back on the ship, someone has eaten the metal that the crew just bought, and while they blame Tinkatink at first, Dot knows the true culprit is someone else. And that is revealed to be an Orthworm that Dot and Quaxley battle in the climax, and I really just like the sequence. The way they utilize Orthworm and build the battle against it works really well with how she's able to determine the best way to wrangle it. And of course at the end, Tinkatink wants to join her, so now all three of our main characters officially have two Pokemon. Some more development for our gamer who's finally going outside and making new friends. So far out of the batch of the first few episodes, I've got to say this is the best one, and a favorite of mine. But of course things only get better from here. Episode 40, Farewell Sprigatito? After a little incident where Sprigatito caused Liko some harm, it runs off to be with other cat Pokemon. Definitely a bit of clickbaiting with the episode title, but it's a good episode as Liko gets a chance to better show how much she cares about her Pokemon and better understand them. She's also able to have a chat with a Pokemon cat breeder, and it turns out that this is where Sprigatito came from. That's a really cool explanation behind the starter Pokemon brought over to the school that Liko attends. As you would expect, they were able to reconnect and move on. Episode 41, A Wild Mom Appears. While continuing their travels, the Rising Voltacklers are visited by Dot's mom, aka Murdoch's sister. She's a bit of a yapper and really cares about Dot. It makes sense with how Murdoch is about her, but Franca is really overprotective. She wants to bring Dot back home, but she isn't ready. It's another great episode for her and shows that as much as we think she doesn't leave her room, she's already taken a huge step because the fact that she's on the ship at all was her idea in the first place. So yeah, fun to see more of her backstory that leads into what she's doing at the current point in time. And the battle at the end was cool too, where Dot's able to get her feelings out in the open. With this episode coming pretty soon after the Tinkatink one, Dot is really getting the moment she needed to become a standout character. Episode 42, Transform Hero of the Seas Palafin. Taking the time to enjoy some of the beaches of Paldea, Liko and Roy learn about Palafin, who rescues people in need. There are also a group of photographers who try and capture a picture of the transformation happening, but are ultimately unsuccessful. They get into some actual trouble, and by the time Palafin gets there to help, it's severely outnumbered. At which point Ludlow, who's been keeping an eye on things, goes through his own transformation and calls himself the Mighty G. Bro, I swear this is an All Might reference. Together they fend off the angry Cloth with the power of love. Yeah, a funny episode and totally worth it for the final act, but surprisingly it is great to get some development for Ludlow, who's been one of the most underutilized characters in the series, and it makes me like him even more. Episode 43, a challenge from the explorers. While running errands at a small beach town, it turns out that Coral and Sidian are also in town. When Coral fails to buy some limited Wiglet buns, she challenges Liko and Roy to a battle after finding out they got some for free by helping out the owner. So yeah, it's a great episode that brings the explorers back into the narrative and is especially fun to see Coral again. She's terrible, horrible, and I love her. Once again, it feels like the Team Rocket moments of the original series. I honestly vibe with some of the comedy more in this episode than previous ones, then the fact it's time back into the main villains with an epic battle is much appreciated. Episode 44, the plan to capture Rayquaza. Following up from the last episode, the Rising Volt Tacklers discover the explorers have set up a facility on a nearby island where they're attempting to lure in the black Rayquaza and capture it. Freed gets separated from the group when Spinel reveals the facility was a trap for him anyway, leaving everyone else to deal with the rest of the explorers. Of course our heroes come out on top, but dang, this was a really good episode. The animation locks in for the battle sequences and I love the high stakes coming back, but it actually ends on a cliffhanger as in the scuffle Rayquaza crashes into the brave Olivine and damages it. So let's jump right into Episode 45, From So Far Away. It turns out things are okay, at least when it comes to the airship making a safe crash landing, but after the explorers pull out when their plans fail, it leaves our heroes to deal with the black Rayquaza. But oh yeah, it's time for a raid battle after Rayquaza accepts her challenge, and I think that's just about the perfect way to end off this little chunk of episodes. Love getting to see everyone work together, and like a Methio even comes back unintentionally teaming up with Freed, bro, this might be peak. Sprigatito even gains the experience to evolve into Florigato. Great to see they aren't holding back their Pokemon just because they're cute, so I expect even more evolutions by the end of the series. Well, that was part 4 of Season 1 of Pokémon Horizons, at least according to Netflix, and I'm so glad to be making my way back through this show. I honestly do like it. So from these episodes we talked about today, here's my ranking of each of them. Mostly A, which are great episodes, some B, which are good, but I wouldn't really count any of these as S-tier episodes that are amazing. But definitely the last 2 are high A in my opinion. But that's the end of Season 1 and I thought it was pretty good. I already gave a good amount of my general thoughts in the previous video, this one focusing more on a group of episodes, which is what I would like to do moving forward in terms of videos. Looking at it all together as a whole, I think this season had a strong start and a cool ending. With the first half getting Liko and Roy started and then the latter half opening up the mystery box of Terapagos, it was well done for Act 1 of the story. I just can't wait to keep watching and see where it all goes, especially with that cliffhanger as we kinda catch up with the explorers and, you know, just show all of them there. Yeah, it's gonna get good. So let me know what you think in the comments below and which episode from this part and even the whole season is your favorite. Anyway, it's onward to even brighter horizons as the journey continues. Thank you to every channel member for your continued support, including the Great Gators, Psychic Jalen, Brian7942, Dusty Gogo, Taxco6942, Astor L4 Hito, Timeless Moron, Fancy Orange, Siakar MA, Sora Baker, Dejorant, Matthew Kelly, Mobile Empire, Ezra, Forfeit Ion, Mugshot Cat, Pastel Blood, Accidental Creation, Jamie Jensen, SB Jump, Castform 7, Victor Bryan, Alex Switch Shiny Hunts, Tyler Hopper, Lockadox, Koi13, Cemetery Hill, Cosmo Zero, Rainfrux, Cheez-It62, Gator Kid 509, TF, Mathiclock 947, Taijirai, Justin R, Phantom, and Quago. If you would like to support, see your name here, get access to emotes for comments, live streams, sometimes early videos, and the members only podcast, you can become a channel member today. You can also follow me on Twitter or Blue Sky as well for more memes. Anyway, this is Gatorex, and I'll catch you all later.
Fallen behind on Pokémon Horizons? Well, YTV will catch you up with a marathon of the last 4 episodes. See what's hidden inside the forest and out.
Pikachu!
That's a lot of Magneton. As the crew finds new Pokémon and new adventures.
There's so many adventures waiting for us out there!
Pokémon Horizons, Friday starting at 11:05 on YTV.